Hey, it's Dr. Charles, aka CoachMD, bringing you my weekly Magical Monday broadcast here on Facebook Live. For those of you who don't know me, I am a medical doctor calling myself CoachMD, as I believe in a holistic approach to medicine. And what I mean by that is holistic includes mind, body, and spirit. Most doctors just focus on the physical, on the body. But the mind and the spirit, the soul, are so essential in allowing us to live a fulfilled, satisfying, and deeply rich and enriched life. So I think it's important to focus on those things, and I like to do that. And that's why I feel the practice of holistic medicine is all of that encompassing. So what I'd like to talk to you today about is how we focus on the negative. How, as we walk through this week, as we start this week, it's our natural instinct, it's our default mechanism to focus on the negative, and specifically the negative about ourselves. So did you ever look in the mirror and you had something about yourself that has always bugged you ever since you were a little kid? Maybe it was your nose, or your eyes not quite symmetric, or a part of your body, or maybe your shorter stature, and whatever it is, it's something that always is with you, that you always focus on every step along the way, whether it is in your quietest moments, whether it is in your interaction with other people. It seems that that is our default, and guess what? It is our default. And why is it that way? Well, for those of you, again, who know me, know I like to talk a lot about what I call the automatic brain. And my ebook, Fake News Stories by Your Brain, is all about really the anatomy of our automatic, our primitive, our animalistic brain. And that brain is on the prowl 24/7, 365 to look at the negative in our lives. Why? Because those negatives are what can hurt us. And that brain is only programmed, it's an animalistic brain, it's only programmed to find out what can be dangerous, threatening, or situations or circumstances that can make us feel vulnerable. And so by it directing us laser beam of our negative attributes, of our negative characteristics, it will cause us it'll make us focus on those. So what happens is we fight and flee all those circumstances that might take advantage of that. So it kind of puts us in a very uncomfortable position all the time if we're not aware of it. Because like I said, that brain is processing all the time, 24/7. It's on the undersurface. It's below our level of awareness and consciousness. So often, and why I do these Magical Monday broadcasts, is to help us go through the week so we can become more aware. And as we bring these natural functionings up to the level of awareness and consciousness, we can understand that they don't have to control us. We have also, as a part of us, a divine nature. And that divine nature is not some woo-woo, some touchy-feely. Well, it is kind of in a way, but it's not in a way that isn't real, because it's very real. And that's part of our makes us human. And we say that what makes us human is all those negative aspects and our negative reactions. We say, oh, well, we're only human, we only have that. Well, all those negative only human things come from the automatic brain. But what's deeply makes us human is our connection with something much greater than ourselves. And that something greater than ourselves makes us and embodies that divine nature. And so once you bring that up to level of awareness and consciousness, and focus and realize that what you're focusing on in your body, and your personality and characteristics, all those negative things are just your brain trying to protect you from things you don't really need to be protected about. Because really, we are a spirit or a soul with a body, not the other way around. So when you focus on that body part, and that's what unfortunately Most of my colleagues were taught that way. I mean, not most medical, we're taught that way. But it's important, just like I had to take a step back and look at what really makes us, what really drives us, what really allows us to have satisfying, fulfilled, healthy lives, fully healthy lives. It's not to allow our focus on the negative characteristics of our body or the negative characteristics of our personality to become the focus of what we need to make better. We need to make better and to focus on our strengths, our gifts, and our talents. And I see that in our education of our children. So often, the education, really not so often, probably all the time, the focus is on what are our children's weaknesses, not what their strengths are. So for me, I remember I had very low self-esteem, very low confidence in my intelligence. Why was that? Well, I was not a very strong reader. When I was in third grade, I was in their remedial reading group. I was put in this, and for those of you who are in the United States, who are my contemporaries, going to school in the 60s and 70s, well, you will remember SRAs. SRA, and I forgot what it stood for, maybe Scholastic Reading Assessment or something. You were put in different groups. And I was put in the I was in the lowest group. I remember I was the only person in that group. And I remember feeling, and that carried with me, because they were focusing on that part of me. I had not come to, my reading skills hadn't grown to a point. So that was a weakness. And I always felt that was weak. I was weak at that. And they focused on that. And they gave me, well, I mean, I'm a child, so it's kind of being processed in me at the time without my awareness, but kind of a feeling of not being confident. And that, believe it or not, will carry